Well, this regime is a shit show. Keone, what were they thinking?
Thinking? You got to stop accusing this administration about thinking.
The amount of energy that it takes to be a racist is insane.
It's too easy, Stacey. The only thing the internet asks you to be most times is don't be homophobic, don't be sexist, don't be racist. How hard is that?
Apparently they can't handle it.
Stacey, you gotta pull, because I don't know what the hell Trump is doing. Pull a card, because we haven't done that yet. And it's got to be the Fool. It's going to be the Fool. It has to be the Fool.
Oh my God! Who's the psychic now?
Hello, all. Stacey, the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Dear Democracy as part of my Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life series. And you get me solo again tonight. And instead of doing an Exit Watch episode, there was a lot that went down. So I thought it would be kind of a fun show today to discuss a couple of topics and pull some cards on it. And the first one that we are going to be kind of talking about is the Graham Platner scandal. And let me just say, first and foremost, I'm fucking pissed that we can't seem to, in all of this craziness, the Democratic Party can't seem to get their shit together to bring on people who are not, SA people and pedos and like, what the hell are we doing? So there's a part of me that's really angry because I really felt like, Graham Platner provided a new path, a path that was going to kick Susan Collins' ass and, get us one more seat. And now that is up for debate. But having said all of that, I also feel just like I was fucking pissed when Eric Swalwell came out. Well, when he was exposed for being, the SA individual that apparently he is, allegedly. I feel that we need to have our representatives do better, be better people. I want to say it's kind of a moral issue at this point. And, as much as I want us to win Maine, and I think it's really important to win Maine, I don't want an SA person involved in anything to do with my government, my taxes, my lawmaking, none of that shit. So, this is the hard part, is when the anti-establishment hero becomes the liability. Platner, the Democratic Senate nominee in Maine, is under major pressure to leave the race after multiple sexual misconduct allegations, which he denies. He denied the last ones too. I kind of felt like the last ones where it was just kind of a sexting thing, I thought they were reaching a bit. I didn't feel that that was something that people needed to get their knickers in a twist about. But this one is pretty credible. This is like a full-blown SA, and I just do not support any of that. Bernie Sanders, who has gotten behind him, and other Democratic leaders have urged him to withdraw. And Maine Democrats are reportedly warning his campaign to not interfere with the replacement process. The race matters because Democrats see Maine as the key to Senate control. So, this is about what happens when a movement attaches itself to a person before doing due diligence, I guess, maybe. I've got a couple of questions here that I wanted to tap into. The first thing that I really want to know, I do feel that he's going to back out of the race. I'd like to know if we are going to get a Democratic candidate to run that's going to be successful. That's That's what I really want to know. Or are we going to be stuck with Susan Collins again? Because the Republican Party is pumping in so much money into having her win. So let's see what our card is. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is like the wheel of chance. It's calculated risk. It's, things happen regardless of whether we want them to or not. It's the winds of change that are coming in and divine, I want to say divine order and timing. So I just want to pull a clarifying card on that to see. Yeah, Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords is anxiety. It's worry. It's like waking up, like waking up from a nightmare and still being in the nightmare. And I mean, that's exactly what this feels like, to be honest. It's completely what it feels like. Are you kidding me? We are so close to this finish line and we're fighting. We're fighting for democracy's life, right? We're fighting for democracy's life. And this shit has to happen. And what the hell is wrong with people who have this kind of past that would think that it wouldn't come out? Like, what were you thinking that this would not come out? He's not a seasoned politician. He does have this past. Did he really think that they weren't going to fight dirty or that they weren't going to do as deep a digging as they possibly could? Of course they are. So when I look at this, these cards don't feel so great. And it makes me really nervous. Okay, so is this a smear? Like a smear campaign, a reckoning, or your past has entered the chat? Well, I'm definitely feeling that that his past has entered the chat, but I do feel that the timing of this is very interesting. I am in full support of the victim, full stop, period. Don't go any further than that. Having said that, it would not surprise me if we find out that Republicans were, I want to say, convoluting, just kind of, working in the background to see what, sort of was coming up and to see what buttons they could press in this regard. Regardless of all of it, he needs to go. He needs to step back. This can't be a thing. Yeah, Seven of Swords. This is the card of integrity or a lack of it. And I feel like, this is his integrity. But when we're asking, is it a smear or reckoning or your past has entered the chat? He's lied. But I also feel that there's some other stuff going on here in the background that we don't know about that is affecting the timing of all of this. So, yes, it's true. His past has entered the chat. Full stop. And I also feel that there is a bit of a smear that has taken place in this regard. What is the bigger lesson here? Was this like a bad vetting thing, a bad judgment, or political delusion wearing a flannel shirt? Six of Swords. So we've all been so desperate to find something that was going to move us on to calmer shores, that was going to get us to, the new space, the new place, the place that we want to be at, not the hellscape that we are currently living in. And I feel like as a result of that, maybe we put our hopes into something without doing our due diligence. And, a lot of political tarot readers out there have indicated and have been indicating for months that they did not have good feelings about him. There are a lot of people who felt like, something bad is going to come out about him, not quite sure about him. And it wasn't because he wasn't a seasoned politician. It was more like, first we had the racial tattoo, the Nazi tattoo. Then we had, there was sexting. There was another, scandal about racial comments that he made. But, people are like, okay, well, I wouldn't want to be judged for, who I was in my 20s. I've grown a lot. I'm a different person today than I was then, thank goodness. So, there's room for growth. There's room for forgiveness. There's room for evolution. But this just happened like 3 years ago. So there's no excuse for this. So I do feel that the bigger lesson here is we can't keep looking for shiny new penny. We have to face our stuff head on. That it may look like it's all good, but we need to actually do better vetting and listen to our inner voice and our inner guidance before we lean into something. And quite frankly, we just need to hold our politicians to a much higher standard of morality and decency. That's just the way it is. I don't expect you to be perfect, but there are certain lines that you just do not cross, and this is one of them. Okay, the next card pull and the next subject that we're talking about here is Mitch McConnell. So this is really interesting. Mitch McConnell's been missing for, basically like 3 weeks. He's been in a hospital. And the GOP is really stepping up and pulling out all the stops that, oh, yeah, I spoke to him for 10 minutes. And they all have like the same story that's slightly a little bit different. And the big question is Mitch McConnell still alive? There's no full, honest, transparency report on what is actually going on. But about 3 weeks ago, there was a call, an ambulance call, and it was a special call. I forget what the code for it was, but basically it's when the ambulance brings everything that they need for like a hospital room to the location because the patient is in serious need, and it looks like he's had a heart attack. He's been hospitalized since June 14th for an undisclosed condition. It looks like a heart attack now, but nobody has said anything officially. His office says he's recovering, but has released limited details, fueling rumors and calls for more transparency. There's a report that GOP leaders say they have spoken with him, while other reporting says he made calls from the hospital to push back on online claims about his condition. So this is less about one man's health, more about what happens when institutions are built around people who refuse to release the frickin' steering wheel, right? So I know everybody wants to know, is he dead or alive? I'm not going to comment on a person's, passing. What I can say to you is I don't feel that he's cognizant. So if he is, in fact, still alive, I feel that he is not aware. It's quite possible he's in a coma-like state or very drugged up. And the overall feeling I get is that he's not coming back, that we are on borrowed time. And what's really sad about all of that is that the GOP is worried about Thomas Massey taking over his spot. So it's like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of situation here, only it's, Weekend at Mitch's, right? Where they're keeping him alive, fake alive, in order to move forward on their political agenda. And this is really sad. So, question, who is really managing the narrative around McConnell's condition, and why so much fog machine around it? I'm definitely feeling that this is, we are in the situation that we are in a big way because of Mitch McConnell's corruption and cruelty for years and years and years while he's been in the Senate. I get the feeling psychically, very strongly, that his staff are being coerced, pressure is being put onto them to keep a tight lip, to not say anything at all. I am feeling Stephen Miller, and I'm feeling Susie Wiles having communication to make sure that nobody knows where he's at. I also see him being moved around in the hospital. So he's moved from room to room to keep it, making sure that nobody can get to him. And he's got like extra security and all sorts of things. Now, why the fog machine? Like I said, it's a Thomas Massey thing. They want to keep his spot open for their own nefarious purposes. They don't want anyone to get it. And yeah, we've got the Five of Swords. So who's really managing this? It's the people who have the most to lose from his passing, his untimely passing. And that is the GOP. That is this particular regime. And I feel very strongly that there is a campaign to keep this all under wraps. They're really hoping that they're going to be able to just keep the body alive for as long as they need to. But here's the interesting thing is I feel that something is going to leak. Something is going to come out pretty soon. I feel that there is someone that is going to be coming from his office, from McConnell's office, a lower level individual. I see a younger woman, long brown hair, lighter brown hair, who is going to get paid a good chunk of money to share what she knows. And so I'm feeling that the truth is going to come out, and it's going to come out at a time when it's going to help the Democratic situation, rather than it's going to come out, a couple of years later after the fact. I feel like it's going to come out, and I don't like to give timing too much, but I keep seeing the number 2 days, 2 weeks. Feels like it's going to be coming out, and it will help our cause, not hurt it. Is this a health story, a succession story, or a power hates a vacancy, power hates a vacuum story? It's definitely a power abhors a vacuum story, and I feel like it's very much about GOP trying to, like they do with everything else, fix and cheat their way to maintaining succession. Interesting, another sword. We have the Eight of Swords, entrapment. Entrapment. Power abhors a vacuum. Oh, yeah. I don't wish ill will on anyone. I'm just going to say that right now. But honestly, the man is a walking corpse. He's a walking skeleton anyway. Well, he's not walking anymore. We don't know where the hell he is. Let the man go. Let the man go in peace. You know what I mean? Like, let him meet his maker and face his demons, because he's got plenty of them. Okay, Epstein Files and the Katie Phang lawsuit. This is that DOJ transparency fight. So the files have been ordered released. So why are we still playing motherfucking hide and seek? Journalist Katie Phang sued over DOJ's handling of the Epstein Files, arguing the government failed to comply with transparency requirements. A federal judge reportedly ordered DOJ to unredact and release some additional Epstein-related information. But of course, the DOJ has also reportedly resisted turning over certain redacted material, or must explain why it is withholding it. And of course, they're asking for extra time there. They didn't respond in a timely manner. They just completely ignored it. And now suddenly they're, playing catch up and, oh, but we didn't know this and we didn't know that. And you filed this thing and you filed that thing. And it's just, it's more shit show. And of course, this is about institutional security, secrecy, survivor justice, and whether the powerful names stay protected when public pressure finally gets its teeth. Peeps, the Epstein Files are going to come out. I just don't feel that they're going to come out fully in the way that they should be coming out until Orange Cheeto Head is no longer in power or on this planet. So, take your pick. So what is the DOJ protecting here? Victims, evidence, powerful people, or its own backside? Well, at this point, I feel like it's obviously the powerful people. It's the perpetrators of these horrific crimes, and it's their own backside. Because we are now at a place where, we've talked about Todd Blanche being the deputy or the acting attorney general. And he wants to be the attorney general, and he is up for that in a week or so. And there are all of these things coming out. People, tons of, I think it was like 101 judges signed an order against voting him in. Over 1,000, I think it was 1,200 or something like that, lawyers signing petitions, people who've worked with him, people who used to work in the DOJ with him, who are saying he's not fit to be a lawyer. This guy is trying to save his own ass, quite frankly. He's trying to do as much damage as he possibly can and to circumvent the truth from coming out, because I feel like what's going to end up happening with him is similar to what happened with Pam Bondi. And I feel like he's going to end up needing to flee the country in order to save his own ass. But right now, he's still in the dear leader, and they're still walking the line. There's still this, in the regime, there is still this energy of, we can still make it. If we push through, we can still make it. There's a slim chance that we're going to be able to make it. We just need to keep pushing through. And that's what he's doing. So what's the card that we get? The Page of Wands. So I want to say very immature thinking, using fire, using force, using stupidity, using fiery emotion that doesn't really have any bearing or grounding in the truth at all in order to push the agenda. And so I feel very strongly that that is what is going on. Is that going to stop this release from happening? No, but I do feel that what they're going to do is what they did with Pam Bondi, which is they're going to drip drab things out, and they're going to, release things, but they're going to release things that are redacted. They're going to release things in crazy order. They're going to release things slowly. They're going to make excuses. They're going to have power outages. And, the DOJ website is down, and there was a hacker situation. Like, they're going to pull out all the stops to be able to release it in drips and drabs and to be able to not release it before the midterms. That's the big goal right now. They know it's going to come out, but they're trying to avoid it for the midterms. And what truth is trying to come out, and who is sweating through their suit jacket right now? Well, the truth is that Orange Cheeto Head, dear leader, is like eyeballs deep in all of this bullshit. And they know that when that comes out, the leopard is going to eat its own frickin' face, right? The leopards are going to go after their leopard king. And it's going to be a shit show, and there's going to be nothing stopping what happens. And none of them want to leave the country. Everyone wants to stay in the country to live out their power hungry fantasies. The plan B, or maybe even it's a plan C, is to leave the country and to try and, live whatever life they can live, in another country. But it's not their ideal. And so I feel like the truth that's trying to come out, that they're trying to hide, is how many people are guilty and connected to this crazy ring, this trafficking ring. And the sad thing is, it's not the only trafficking ring. It's a pretty big one. It's not the only one. And these things are still happening. They're still going on. And the information that is in these files can help us to stop that. And that's what's happening, is they're trying to stop sex trafficking from being stopped. And they're trying to save their own asses. So yeah, we got the devil card. I mean, who's sweating through their suit jacket right now? The fucking devil. This is Orange Cheeto Head. This is Todd Blanche. This is everyone in the DOJ, Pam Bondi. This is everyone involved in and around this scandal. And trust me when I say the majority of the people in his regime are in these files in some capacity. And if they're not in the files, they're involved and embroiled in other scandals, because there's so much every day. They're destroying everything. They've got their fingers in all of the different pies everywhere. So, I mean, throw a little stone, pick a spot, and you'll hit someone in the regime who's guilty as fuck. So that's what we're really dealing with here. So, when power gets cornered, does it tell the truth or just rearrange the furniture? Well, we are here to say that in this situation, they are rearranging the furniture. But I have heard a number of people use the terminology. Jennifer Welsh from iHip News, a podcast, or iHip News, she's great. She says they're rearranging the chairs on the Titanic. And I truly believe that. That's exactly where things are at and how things are going. And it brings me such great comfort to think of it in that way, to know that they're going down, regardless of what we're witnessing right now. And it's bad, and it's probably going to just continue to get worse until, the dam bursts open and all of the steam goes out, right? Everything just gets leveled. And I hate that. But we're already like halfway through the tunnel, right? It takes just as much energy to go backwards as it does to go forward. So let's just fucking plow forward and get this done, right? The House of Cards is about to fall. If you haven't watched the show, the series, the Netflix series, House of Cards, I mean, we're kind of witnessing a lot of that right now. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for, is the House of Cards falls. All the secrets are revealed, and it comes filling out like the aquarium that, the aquarium with the fish tank that gets a crack in it. And all of a sudden it just, we're seeing the crack growing and growing and growing. And all of a sudden the glass bursts and everything flies out in a big rush, and it creates a huge mess. But then there's no inertia. Then there's no momentum. There's no movement. That's what I'm living for. And I've got my champagne bottle in the fridge, ready to be popped open at a moment's notice for the celebration that we are all waiting for. All right, guys, that is our Dear Democracy for this week. As always, sending you so much love. Take care and transform well.